Hi guys, welcome to another Divi theme video. This is Jamie from System 22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. We got a fun one for you today. If I roll down this page, we got this parallax section popping in with this little sale banner with countdown timer and button there. Watch what happens when I scroll up. It's going to stick to the top, the section is going to move on up, and that banner is now going to stay there all the way down our site here. And they can roll over it, click on it, what they need to do. And if we roll back up the site, when it gets to where it was, it's going to jump back into position there. Really nice little feature to have on your site if you've got a sale going or something you want to draw attention to. That's going to get their attention pretty quickly. And like I say, it's interactive, so they can put their mouse on it and do stuff. And you can take them wherever you want with a link. So let's get started. I'm going to enable the Visual Builder. Once enabled, let's roll down to where we want to work. I'll delete this whole section and we'll start from scratch. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do, obviously, is add a new section. So click on any section above or below. Hit the little blue button to add a new section. I'm going to use a regular section with mine. Inside, I'm going to put a row with a single column. Inside that row, I'm going to put a countdown timer. Just leave like that. We'll set that up in a moment. I'm also going to put a button in here. So I'm going to click on the countdown timer, hit the little dark button to add a new module, and let's throw a little button in there. Fantastic. And we'll come back and sort that one out in a moment. Now for the actual section itself, let's go in there. We'll give it a little background image. Background's always under content. Third tab along it is background image. Yeah, and I think I had that one in there. And I think I was using a parallax effect. So let's switch that one on. And true parallax. Now let's change it to CSS parallax. Great. Well, that's our section taken care of. Let's go into our row now. Green tab for the row. I want to make this row full width. And it's pretty important that you do this. So I'm going to go into the row, the green tab. I'm going to go to design, sizing. I'm actually going to use a custom gutter width as well. The gutter is the space below and beside objects within a row. I'm going to take it down so there's no space by flipping the switch to yes and putting this all the way down to 1. As you can see, that button's now sitting on the bottom of our countdown timer module there. Great. And to make the row full width, just to show you exactly what's going on, the row is the same width as our countdown timer there. That's the width of our row at the moment. I want to make it full width. So I'm going to go to width down below. We're still in sizing under design here. I'm going to drag that up to 100. I'm going to copy it, Control C, and paste it, Control V down below, or you can just type it in. Now you can see our row is now full width, and it's important that you do that. Okay, well, let's go back into our little module here now. I'm going to make it the size that I want it. So I'm going to go into the module. And I think we said sale on today, whatever it is you want to sale with your module there. Make it for as long or as short as you want by selecting the day here. And you can set the time, the hour, and the minutes down the bottom here. I'm just going to leave mine on that 7 days. That's fine for the moment. What I want to do is shrink this down in size and keep it a similar size as I want it when I've got it sticking to the side over here. So let's run over to design here. I'm going to go down to sizing. Width. Let's try 350 pixels. It'll probably squish it up crazy. And it'll try to put in a percentage for you. But make sure you put the PX on the end. If it puts in a percent, just select it and put PX in there. Yeah, that's kind of what I want, but it's squished up the letters, but we can take care of that in a moment. Module alignment, I want it in the middle of our page here. Let's sort out our title. I think I want that capitalized. I'm hitting the paintbrush associated with it. It'll take straight to the design. I'm going to leave it on the default font. Of course, Divi's got a crazy amount of font. To audition one, just roll over it. I'm giving you an example. I'm going to stick with the default today, like I said. I'm going to roll down. Let's make it uppercase. And let's make it bold, perhaps, or at least semi-bold. That will do. I don't want it on 2 lines, but I'll fix that in a moment. Let's go into our numbers now, the little countdown numbers. And we'll take those down a little bit. I think I'm going to take some padding away left and right before I take those numbers down. That way it'll give them a bit more space, so they won't be quite as overlapped, but we'll still have to adjust them. To take the padding left and right down, we're going to go down to spacing. I'm always still in the design in our countdown settings here. Let's just put, say, 20 pixels left in there and hit the chain. It'll do the right. That's giving it a bit more space, and our title is actually stretched out, which is good. But we still need to reduce this a little bit. So again, I'm going to hit the little paintbrush associated with those. I'm going to take them down in size. I'm going to leave it on the same default text there. I'm just going to roll it down in size until it fits where I want it by clicking on the little arrows there. I think that's going to do for me. And our little words down here have broken a little bit. And we're going to do exactly the same with that. Click on the paintbrush, roll down to the font size, and we'll roll it back until it all fits on the right line there. Perfect. Just exactly what I want. Well, that's our little sale banner. I'm going to make it have a black background. I'm going to take a little bit of the opacity away. I want to take a bit of this padding away from the top, but I'll leave it for the moment until we've adjusted this button. So let's just go back into the padding in design. Get out of our label text. So here's the padding. Top. Let's just take that down to 20 as well. I can always adjust it again later. Maybe a little too short. That's fine. Let's go back to our content now. Like I say, I'm going to go into background. I'm going to give it a black background. Might click on it and just bring that opacity down just a tad. 84 or 90%. That way when it rolls over the site, you'll get a little hint of what's going on behind there. Great. Well, I'm going to leave that as it is for the moment. Let's go into our little button here now. I'm going to go over to design alignment. Obviously, I want it in the middle. So it's just underneath there. I'm going to change its color so we can see it slightly. So I'm going to go into the button down below here. I'm going to hit the switch, use custom styles for button. Button text. I'll make that one white. Button background, we'll make this very simple. Let's give it a blue background. Then we can create a different color on hover by rolling up over the dark writing. This is common to all Divi modules. There's a little arrow there. We can have one setting for desktop, which is when the mouse is not on it, and a completely different setting when the mouse hovers over it on the hover tab here. Let's make it purple, perhaps. Let's roll down a little bit. I'm not going to have a border on there. I'm going to take that away by just taking that down to 0 there. And let's put it back on desktop state so it's blue. Button font's fine. I am going to capitalize it. When you roll over, you've got a little icon there. If you don't want an icon, you can turn it off, or you can choose a different icon here. Or if you want an icon at all times, you can switch this to no, and it'll give you an icon at all times. I'm going to leave mine just as it is. I'm happy with it to be on the right. What I will do, though, is give it a bit of text shadow here. Just offsets it a little bit. And I just want to give it a bit of a curve on the border. So if I roll back up to the border up here, could have done that while we were here. Border radius, I'm going to put 30 pixels in there. Makes it into a round button. But I want to kind of scoot it up so it's overlapping our little countdown timer here. To do that, I need to go into spacing down below here. And we use a bit of negative margin to do that. Margin allows you to use negative values so you can move things, unlike padding. To do that, I'm just going to increment down with my little arrow there. I think it's about 15 pixels or so we used last time. Maybe a bit more, maybe 20 or so. Just roll it up to where you want it. I think somewhere like that's going to work for me. 25 pixels. And I'm just going to curve off these corners on that to do that. Let's save this. We'll go back into our little countdown timer module here. And as I'm sure you know, borders over in design. Let's give this one maybe 30 pixels all around as well. Chain will be checked by default, which means you can do all 4 sides at once. Great. Well, that's everything we need. Now that looks good just on its own like that, but like I say, I thought it'd be more fun if we rolled up the top and it's stuck there, moved over here out the way of the content. Really easy to do. Now with this, we're going to do in the row, not the actual module itself, so we get both the button and the countdown timer. So let's go into our row. I'm going to go over to advanced. We're going to roll down to scroll effects. I'm going to change it from do not stick to stick to top. Now when I roll up the page, when it gets to the top, it's going to stick there. We've got a little bit of a gap at the top there. If you want to get rid of that, you can do that over in design in the row, in spacing, padding. Put a 0 in there, that'll get rid of that gap. I'm happy for it to be there though. That's going to work for me, so I'll leave it just as it was. But of course, I don't want our content all the way over here. So while I'm in this, I'm going to close down the spacing and go to sizing just above it. I'm going to say width when it's pinned. So again, we want to roll over, get the pin up. I think I use 350 pixels, 350. Make sure you put the PX, else again, it will try and put in a percentage for you. And we're on the wrong side there. So if we go over to our advanced there, I'm going to go down to position this time. I'm going to say when it's pinned, I'm going to change it from relative to absolute. I'm going to put it on the left side there. And what I need to do now is go into my design, down to my sizing. I want to make sure that this is aligned left. There, we've got it on the left-hand side. Perfect. If you wanted it on the right, just align it on the right. Now that button here is too small. So what we need to is too much over the writing there. So what we need to do is go in there and just take it down a bit when it's pinned. We know how to do that. Let's save our changes for our row. That's working as it should be. Let's just put this back to where it should be. We'll go into the button itself. I want to go over to my design and my spacing, where we put that negative margin in. Again, I want to roll up, get the pin up. When it's pinned, let's just get it back to the pin state at the top there. Probably want to put that down to 0. Well, maybe it's up to you, wherever you want to position yours. I think that's going to work for me, right, sitting on the bottom just like that. So if I go back down, it's going to go down there. Let's just make sure this is going to work for us. So we got that. When I roll up, it's going to hit the top, roll over to the side there. Perfect. Let's save our changes now. Make sure that this is going to work on the front end. Going to hit the little purple button. Save draft or publish if you're ready. And let's exit the Visual Builder. And we'll roll on down. There's our little sale countdown. When I hit the top, it's going to roll over to the left-hand side. And it'll stay there for the rest of the site. We can click on the button. You can also put a link in this if you wanted to take them to it via that too. If I roll back up, it's going to jump back into position when it gets there. Really nice little interactive, eye-catching little thing to have on your site. So there you have it, guys. There's how to create a little sticky sales countdown timer to have on your website. Really easy to do, as you can see. Don't forget, if you have any questions, pop them down below the video. I'll do my best to answer them for you, or make a little demo video just like this one. Once again, this has been Jamie with System22 and webdesignertechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.